Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Most revered and respected Dean and Director of the PSBB Group of Schools, Dr. Mrs. YGP. Guest of Honor, Mr. Ravichandar. Members of the Padma Seshatri family. More importantly, the teachers who have groomed many, including me. Parents of alumni and students at this wonderful school, alumni from the school, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy to be a part of this momentous occasion for a variety of reasons. But I would like to share a few of them. This is a moment to celebrate. And when I received a call from Mr. Rajendra, joined by Mr. Sheila Rajendra, 2 months back, and they told me, Vaiti, where are you on February 22nd? I said, I am not a very big person, that my calendar is booked 2 months in advance. So I will be wherever you want me to be. He said, February 22nd is our school's Diamond Jubilee, and so we would want you to be a part of the event. And I happily agreed. And who will say no to such a wonderful function? To be a part of the audience just like you. Then I said, yes, I would like to attend the function. Then Mr. Rajendra said, wait, I haven't finished my conversation. The first part is the information that our Diamond Jubilee is on February 22nd. And the decision of Mrs. YGP is that you will have to be one of the guests of honor. Wow. That was a little embarrassing for me, because as much as all of you wanted to be a part of the audience, listening to probably more deserving people, if I can say. But since it is a decision, an anbu kattalai from Mrs. YGP herself, I accepted that with all humility, because I wanted to be a part of this momentous occasion which celebrates 60 years of this great institution, an institution that was found by the great Mrs. YGP, who finished 90 years very recently. And this magic combination of 150 years of an individual and an institution has produced so many intellectuals who are doing so many good things in different parts of the world. On that single count, I'm extremely privileged and happy to be a part of this evening's function. And I must graciously acknowledge that I feel so blessed to be one of the guests of honor. And when the principals, who, despite my repeated requests not to come personally and invite me, because I felt a little embarrassed when Mrs. Geeta Govindarajan came and met me personally. I said, I will come and meet you and collect the invitation from you. She said, no, that's the school's policy, but it was wonderful to host both of them. They came and invited me personally. And I asked them, should I speak? They said, yes. I'm glad that they mentioned that you have a 10-minute time. Otherwise, you give a microphone to teachers like me without a time limit. We can go on and on. But mind you, my 10-minute has not yet started. So So they said, you please share the experience of being a student at Padma Seshatri. But my job was made a little easier by Mr. Ravichandar, who gave much of how the school has evolved, both as an institution and how that it has evolved individuals as successful professionals. But nevertheless, my sharing of the experience of this institution is going to be in a different way, beginning with the first experience that I had when I entered this auditorium. I met Mrs. Hamsa Ramdas, met Ms. J. Balambal, and so many other teachers under whom I think I studied, and told myself, since this is the inaugural of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations, and I'm sure you're going to have a series of events throughout this year, let me begin with an appeal that I want to duplicate the same student experience. Though most of the alumni here occupy different positions in various organizations, but you choose a day and tell us, we will have a Diamond Jubilee classroom experience for the alumni. And I'm sure most of us will be very happy to come again as students with Mrs. YGP at the helm of the affairs, sit in a classroom where Mrs. Hamsa Ramdas will still say nothing is too late and nothing is impossible. What profound message. An eternal message. Ms. J. Balambal taking classes on human values. Mrs. Malati Santanam's English class. And I don't know why, but Max always has Max 1 and Max 2. And so Mrs. Geeta Govindarajan, Max 1, and Mrs. Radha Venkatesh, Max 2. Mrs. Chandra Nagarajan taking physics for us. Mrs. Jayashri, whom I met, taking chemistry for us. You choose the day, and we are all ready to again get that experience, which unfortunately is lacking amongst the current generation of students, because I still want to come inside a classroom where a teacher, as short as, I don't want to name the teacher, but I enjoy that experience, who couldn't reach out to my ears when I was naughty, so always managed to pinch me on my tummy. So I want that experience actually. So that's the first experience that I got. Oh, how well it would be to just sit in a classroom again at Padma Seshatri, and I'm sure you will organize one special class, call it the Diamond Jubilee class, and many of us will be very happy to come and attend the class. You see, the life of every individual is shaped by 4 critical stakeholders. One, the family, about which we can talk on and on. We can have conferences and seminars. The second, the school. The third, the religion. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm just a follower and not a philosopher. And fourth, the state, means the law and order. And I'm not going to talk about it because much of the state's role is for deviants and not for normals. So the critical phase of an individual's life is those formative years where the intellectualism of an individual gets shaped. And the role of school is definitely very, very important in those formative years. And the fundamental, the foundational pillar of a schooling ecosystem is its teachers. And Mr. Ravichandar came out with a list of those teachers who inspired the classroom. And we definitely have another list. And you ask any student, they will have their own lists. But more than that, what I want to share with you is the learning, the experience of the teaching profession that I feel is so valuable as a teacher myself, because the fundamental to the profession is that a teacher is always a student, and that is why I always like the profession of teaching, because that's one profession where you're always a student as well. And that is why there is a natural respect for the teaching profession. And more so for teachers in Padma Seshatri, because a school like that will command a natural respect for its teachers, because it is that type of teachers that are present in this great school. So when it comes to respect to the teachers of Padma Seshatri, it is natural. And that is why I always have a special corner for the teachers, the entire family of teachers who have directly or indirectly taught me while I was a student in the school. You see, interestingly, there was a study that Yale University conducted. They found that many of the Asian Americans, who constitute maybe less than 4% in America, they dominated the admissions of some of the best universities in USA, the Harvard, the Yale, the Columbia, the Carnegie Mellon. And they were surprised that how was that a diminutive population that is less than 4% is dominating the admission scenes of all these big universities. And they found that there were a few fundamental characteristics of Asians, and more particularly in Indians, that they have a value system of respecting elders, respecting teachers, work very hard. And this was a study that was done none less than by Yale University. And that is why they said they in fact used to have special counseling sessions for the American professors in the American university, that whenever you see an Indian, they will stand up. So don't get afraid, because that is their culture. They will stand up. They will wish you, don't get afraid. So this was kind of theory X, Y, Z for them, and that's the type of counseling that was given to the teachers there. So this is natural for us. And that is why this profession is something that is always and will always remain close to the hearts of many successful individuals that our country is able to produce. And that is why the teachers of this great institution, you have rendered selfless service, tireless service, and maybe at times, unfortunately, thankless service as well. Many of them fail to even look back. That's the minority, but a majority of us still enjoy and always look back to those schooling years at Padma Seshatri. And you have elevated so many individuals. And I can best, in a symbolic way, tell you how much you have contributed to this process of elevation. When I joined the school, I joined Padma Seshatri in class 4. But definitely those joining, when my daughters joined the school, they joined in pre-KG. So the students used to sit on the floor. The teacher sits on the chair. And students, when they move to class 3, 4, they sit on a small stool. The teacher still sits on the same chair. And go to higher classes, maybe the levels are same. And when you come to institutions like us, we feel a little afraid as a teacher, because we still sit in the same chair, and today the classrooms are amphitheater types and they're gallery type. So we kind of expect any type of surgical strike or a ballistic missile from the students. We are just the lions caught in the amphitheater. So that's the and this generation is also a challenging one as well. But the message that I wanted to convey is that at different stages of your formative years of education, the teacher always sits in the same chair. It is the individual who gets elevated to different levels, and that has been the thankless, the tireless, the selfless service of teachers who stay at the same place but make sure that the students whom they teach elevate to higher levels. That's a great experience. And now that my 10 minutes is going to come to a close, I would like to share another interesting comparison that Swami Haridas Giri used to give about the teaching profession. He says, the life of an individual should be knowledge seeking, because you need to know something to lead a successful life. And you cannot know anything new. There is no new knowledge unless it comes from the Guru. And he contrasts that learning experience by giving the example of a lamp, an agal vilakku. And I will use a little bit of Tamil to also explain this. That you will have to learn something new is something you will have to understand always, because learning is something that is non-negotiable. You cannot compromise on that, because you have to acquire new knowledge. அது முதல்ல உனக்கு வந்து விளக்கணும், உனக்கு வந்து விளங்கணும் வேற. That you have to learn. நீ ஏதாவது புதுசா கத்துக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஐடியா வந்து உனக்கு விளக்கணும். So you need a first விளக்கு for the lamp. And then you have to go in search of a teacher. இப்போ எப்படி வந்து when we want admission to schools, திரியிறோம். We go to different schools for admissions. So வழக்குக்கு வந்து you need a theory. So you will have to go. Thank God, as Mr. Ravichandar said, mine was also not those times where it was extremely difficult to get an admission into Padma Seshatri. But today, you know, every Indian or every housewife in Chennai wants an admission to Padma Seshatri and schools like that, because everybody, they are very clear on one thing, Mr. Ravichandar, that they want their sons and daughters to be more intelligent than their husband. So they want them to be in some good schools, right? So they make sure that, in my case, at least my wife doesn't think that way, because I'm already a product of Padma Seshatri. So Thiriyanam, you'll have to go and search for a good school and get a guru. And then once you're there, you will have to develop a loyal, dispassionate relationship. That patru, you will have to develop. So after the theory, you will have to light the theory, patra vendu. And after that, you will have to make sure there is enough oil in it. And after developing the relationship, you will have to always tell yourself that you acquire new levels of knowledge, but it is still the same guru that you will have to always rely on to acquire newer knowledge. So on the ennam vendum, enna vendum. So you'll have to put oil to the lamp. And after you successfully graduate, never have this ego that now I know everything. Right? Now I know everything. Ego, I know everything. And the ego vai eriya vendum. Right? So you need vilakku, you need theory, ada patra vendum, eriya vendum, ego vai. So this comparison by Swami Haridas Giri cannot come at a time more appropriate than this, when I want to recall how great the contributions of my teachers from this great school has been in the process of the little enlightenment that I received, and I stand before you as a teacher of a university and always wanting to be a student. And that is why, you see, ladies and gentlemen, when I participated in a function celebrating the 90th birthday of Mrs. YGP, whom I call today as the Kula Guru of the Gurukulam, or called Padma Seshatri, I made a commitment that I will definitely would like to do something to this institution. And I have conceived what I call as SPARK, Shastra PSBB Action for Refreshing Knowledge. And to this initiative, I would like to present a check for rupees 9 lakhs to be maintained as a corpus so that every year you conduct some training programs for, I shouldn't say elevating the enlightenment of the teachers because they are enlightened individuals themselves already, but make sure that the contemporary challenges of the teaching learning mechanism that this generation is facing is adequately addressed through annual training programs which I want the school to conduct for its teachers and if possible to other teachers within its neighborhood, with a commitment that when you call me for your 100th year celebrations and later for the school's 75th year, I will definitely do more for this wonderful institution. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.